We'll be discussing the postmodernist theories of gender relations. Here are some of the slogans, just listen to them and just feel what the message is being delivered. If men could menstruate, abortion would be a sacrament. The second one goes like this: God is coming and boy is she pissed. So, hearing to these slogans, we can understand what was going on when these slogans were made. What was the situation in the society? It is not new that women have been subjugated for a really long time, and especially in the 1960s 1950s, when the movements and the literature, the texts, they were just started to appear in the society, they just started getting circulated. So there was a need for women to tell the society that they have a position in the society, and therefore there were lots of movements that were taking place, various slogans were written, and the slogans and the movements, they represented the situation of women, how they were still subjugated, how men had power over them, how they had authority, and there was a need for change. That is what we get from the second slogan, that they are referring to God as a woman, which was a big deal back then, because mostly with the patriarchy, the men driven society, everything of power is considered as male oriented. So, the arguments under postmodernist theory is that there are four changes that we can observe how the conditions have changed from the modern world to the postmodern world. The first change is global capitalism has expanded, it has gone to the next level. This power of the center has weakened. That means there has been a decline of imperialism, rise of participatory politics, so that the center, the power that it had in the earlier times, it does not have that kind of a power which can be coerced. Third, consumerism has increased because of the technology and the various elements that are associated with industrialization and rise in science and technology, change in living standards. And the last one is the rise of liberalist movements, which are based on identity, more on identities, not solely on classes. For example, the LGBTQ movements, they are based on identity. They are not class based movements, but they are more liberalist movements. The approach that the postmodernist thinkers use is the epistemological approach, which is it is based on knowledge. It asks the question, how are you constructing the concept of women? Okay, so this is the question the modern thinkers are asking. They're not asking the questions, now what about women? For example, if there had been a debate on the participation of women in politics, or just the emergence of an institution. So earlier, the first question that the feminists would ask was, what about women? What about their participation? But now the question has changed. So the approach that is used is empiricism and phenomenology. It questions the claims to truth that is stated by a theory, because we know that many of the theories that were built in old times were male dominated. Even if the female writers wrote some texts or some literature, it was edited by men, it was rewritten from a men's perspective. So, therefore, the truth, the real truth, was always hidden, and therefore they question that theory now, that is it even relevant? Is it even the truth? Their perspective is that they ask questions and they ask whose knowledge is accountable. Accountability here means, again, going back to the same point, that is the perspective that is given from a men's viewpoint, is it accountable? But what creates a women's standpoint? So, in earlier times, we are very familiar with how women were given the social reproduction's duty, that she just had to take care of her house, her husband, her children, and they always held a subordinate status. So, the women's standpoint to this was they were being subjugated, they were being given to do something that they did not really want to do in the same place. Even as a mother, a woman may want to go out and get a job and earn for herself, but it was taken for granted that she has to get a subordinate status and stay at home. Therefore, what creates a women's standpoint has to come by the women themselves. So, in order to question these, there is a need to deconstruct gender, and that is what the postmodernist theories or thinkers are doing. And they are adopting new vocabulary. That means they are using new terms to discuss about the issues of feminism and new terms to name their work as well. The questions raised by women are from various classes of different color, of different races, ethnicity, and sexuality. Therefore, it is very broad in scope when there is a participation from women across the globe and from various classes and sexualities and ethnicity. Therefore, the participation is at a very big level. Now, coming to the strategies that are used in postmodernism or postmodernist theories, what is new here? So, the first strategy is webbed accounts. Webbed account means there's an integration or amalgamation of different viewpoints from the women across the globe. Okay, so the viewpoints of various actors and their knowledge, their experience, their situations that they used, and the power dynamics that were there that they experienced, all of this is taken into consideration. Second is promoting accounts of the less privileged. Since the beginning, the accounts of the less privileged or women that were being tapered with. So they were always edited or re edited by men to promote their own point of view rather than promoting the real point of view that is by the women. Reflexive here means how the situation of few women or how the situation of an individual it generalized slowly when people started speaking up and it became a generalization or generalized sociological account. The last strategy is identifying meanings of the world. That means from where, as in the location, the geographic location, from where the different strategies, from where the different theories are coming, from where the people are speaking up. All of this has to be combined to understand the standpoint from various geographical locations. Because even when we know that women as as a whole gender are oppressed in various cities, states and countries, but again their experiences, what they're going to experience is going to be very different. Sometimes women of power perhaps, or if they belong to a high caste or high class, even they subjugate other women. So that is also one of the cases. So therefore the experiences will be very contrasting, and all of that has to be taken into consideration to provide for the knowledge that will be created in creating theories. I have given a list of some of the major postmodernist feminist thinkers who have contributed in the study of and in the creation of some of the postmodernist theories. Let us discuss some questions now. Question number first is a feminist sociological theory begins with sociology of knowledge. Only when you have knowledge, only when you have experiences based on what happened and a standpoint of women altogether, only then you can create a sociological theory which is feminist in nature. Second question goes, a major factor in unequal power relations is due to it is due to how the dominant groups their views are circulated more and they are considered to be higher. In older times, the women did not have the status that women enjoy today. And men being the dominant group, their views were considered of higher value and thus they were circulated more. Therefore, the option will be A. Dominant groups' views are circulated more and considered higher. I hope you got this lecture. Thank you for watching.